Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down two arrangements I've made so far. Um, I have written to them and I have done like a full first draft of vocals on them, but we're not going to be going through those today because I'm not super settled or satisfied with them yet. So we're just going to be showing the instrumentals today, but I'm very excited to show you guys and let's get into it. Okay, so here, as you can see, I've already got my track stacks all pulled up, all stacked up, and also I I already turned all of my MIDI regions into audio tracks because I was trying to mix the song, and of course, my CPU was overloaded, and my project kept crashing. So I had to do a lot of like energy saving and collapsing my MIDI into audio is one of those things. So you can see these BIP here. These used to be MIDI files. Kind of sad that I can't show you these as well. The electric bass were also MIDI files that I inputted. But yeah, just so you know. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the vocals. Like I said, we're not going through any vocals today. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the breakdown of what's going on, and then we're going to listen to it all together at the end. So I'm going to go with the drums first. I'm going to solo the drums. These are what the drums sound like together. Got this one. And then the kick. And I'm actually also going to turn off anything that might be changing the sound, so you can now hear the difference. I have this Space Designer on it, but I actually don't know if I love it. But we'll leave it for now. So that's the first verse, and then coming into the rest of the drums, we're gonna add this. I made this very early on when I first got my MIDI, and so I was really playing around with all the different sounds, and also the pattern designer as well. I think that's actually what I used for this, is a pattern designer. I don't like the toms in it now listening back, but it was a creative decision I made in the moment. So that's what we've got going on with the drums. We're going to move on to the guitars now so I can show you the bass. So originally I had a splice loop, or I had a splice loop that had kind of like this bass. I think it was an electric bass or electric guitar, like kind of upstring loop. But in its entirety, there was some parts that were slightly off. So what I did was I took my MIDI keyboard and I used it as inspiration and remade it without like the weird upstrum that was confusing me and the weird sounds. And I picked my own electric bass that I like the sound of more. So This is one part. And this is the other part. I did them separately to make it easier for myself. This is them together. And then I've got different parts of the song where we've got two different electric guitars. Or I'm not sure if it's actually an electric guitar up here, but I know this one is. So let's play it with this first guitar. And then we'll go over here. So that's all we've got for the guitars. Now we're going to move on to the musical instruments, which you can see I've got a lot more going on than the guitar and the drums, but still not too crazy. So my main chords here at the beginning . And then I've got a different chord that comes in after, I think it's the first verse. Where's my... I guess I don't have an arrangement. Oh, there it is. Aha. Now we can see what's actually going on. So starting at the second verse, you can see I've got a different chord come in, or a different piano to change up the vibe. And so I'm gonna start with the first verse, and I'm just gonna add in whatever else comes in the first verse so you can hear it. Little ear candy there. And then to introduce the chorus, I've got this little and as you can see, you're only going to hear this sound one more time at the very end. So I'm excited for you guys to hear how I did that. And then going back to the second verse, we've got these synth pads behind what I named fairy chords. I don't know why I named it that. It made sense to me at the time. And then I've got some more ear candy here. Sorry, my cat is using the litter box and he's just scratching his paws on the door to clean them. I know that's obnoxious. It'll end soon, sorry. Anyway, so I've got this ear candy here, and this electric piano is about to come in after the pre-chorus. Oh, let me go back here. And then I had that for a very, very short time. I didn't like it enough for it to keep going, but I thought it added enough to introduce it once. And then we're back to just the piano and the synth pad for the bridge. And you'll see when I play it all together, the bridge is where that other drum loop comes in. And then for this last chorus, I actually stacked both of these pianos on top of each other, so we can hear them together with the synth pad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring everything together. I'm going to open it all up so you can see everything that we've talked about, and you can watch what happens as it plays. And you can see I've got this ghost swell and this click here at the end, so watch out for those in the outro. And here we go. Drums can honestly come down in volume. There's that. There's that piano back there. Bass still going strong. And here's the drum switch up, which I like better without. It's better without the Space Designer on it. Yeah, I don't like that. Here we go with our electric guitar. And we're coming up on the outro now. See that lounge vibe come back in. And a very subtle swell and click to close us out. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you think I should, really write and record and release a song with this track. I think that, so with this track, I actually made it for a song I had already written, which the song was in A major. When I started making this track, when I found that bass loop that I inevitably changed with my MIDI, it was in A minor. And I really liked it and I didn't want to let it go. So what I did was I changed the song to A minor. I just started singing it in A minor. And then I decided that the concept of the song no longer made sense in A minor. Like the feel of it and the vibe didn't make sense when I switched the key. So I rewrote a new song called Twin Flame. And it's about friendship breakups. When you lose a friend that you just that was your person, you clicked with that person and you were so happy to have that friend in your life. And then they don't last in your life as long as you thought they were going to. And it's yeah, of course, that happens all the time. And it's called Twin Flame. And I really liked the concept. I liked the lyrics. And I hated the melody. So actually, these vocals here are all, you can see I've done all the vocals. And I just am not happy with it. I'm a perfectionist, but also I have this thing where I really want to love my own music. I'm not releasing it for anybody but myself. So if I don't love it, I'm not going to release it. And there's a fine line between, being a perfectionist and, But anyway, I think I'm going to rewrite or at least create a new melody. I can keep the same concept maybe change up the lyrics a little bit, but it has been hard to find a good melody to match this song, and I've noticed that with my fellow artists as well, my fellow artists that I'm friends with as well. It's hard to find a good melody in A minor, and it's been an interesting struggle. So we're gonna move on to the next arrangement now. All right, so this is my next arrangement that I'm showing you guys. As you can see, I do not have track stocks for this one. I have not started mixing this one at all. My midis are still midis. They're not compressed into audio files this time. And once again, I've got all these vocals. They're all muted. We're not going to be listening to them today. It's still a work in progress. And I don't have as much going on with this track, so it'll probably be quicker. So the first thing I want to show you is the liquid synth keys that I did with my MIDI. I love that. When I listen to it, it's my favorite part of the track always. So let's get into the drums that I produced into here. Simple snare. Simple kick 2. You can see the snare drops out for a bit here. Really simple kick. I almost did a reveal on accident. As you can see, there's a lot of creative decisions, surgery, spaces in this one. And I'm actually very proud of this one. So this is definitely my favorite that I've made so far. But let's keep going. I've got the shaker here. Every other bar, I think. And then another drum loop, which I found this on Splice. And I think this is kind of what started the track, actually. I think I found this first, and I was like, dang, like, this is, I don't know, it just was, like, kind of gritty and kind of, like, raw, and I liked it, and I wanted to do something with it, so that's that. And then we've got our main electric guitar, which also was one of the starting pieces, the starting instruments for this track. It's really the foundation of the track, and you'll hear that when we play the full thing. And then I've got these texture pads, not very unlike the synth pads in the last track we listened to. Adds kind of like a Alone is kind of hard on the ears, but it adds something to the track when everything else is playing. And actually, I think where I got this from is Kehlani's song Folded. I saw the breakdown of that track, and there's a vinyl sound, a vinyl scratching sound playing throughout almost that whole track, I think. That's kind of similar to that alone, you wouldn't think it makes sense, but it really brought everything together. And then I guess I have another drum here. I guess I really went crazy with the drums for this one. Oh, yes. This was... If you saw my video of the first time I tried to arrange this part gave me hell and heartache to figure out. I had to mess with it so much to get the sound that I wanted, but somehow, some way, I made it work. I have this acoustic string, which you can see I only have some way into the second verse and through the pre-chorus, and it does not show back up. What I've been doing is I have a different vibe for the first verse and the second verse, but they carry through similarly. They have a similar flow, but they have a different dynamic. So you could probably see in the last one as well, while it was similar, I took some key components out of the second verse and switched them with a different sound to give it a different dynamic. And also with the bridge, I completely change it. And what I do is in the last chorus, which to me I think of as the biggest chorus, I take all of the components and I layer as many of them that sound good together. So like components that I had been using, I either add components or whatever it may be to make it bigger and more full and have more going on than the first two choruses. As you can see, I've got this extra piece back here. So we're about to listen to it, but I've got this vocal decoder, which I had to mess with to like too. I don't remember what I did when I messed with this, but this is not what it originally sounded like. I think what it originally sounded like was you could hear voices, like you could hear it was like voices singing, and I don't remember what I did to it, but I wanted it to sound more like an instrument and less like people. So that's what we've got now, along with a second electric guitar. This deep kick comes in. It's just a deeper kick than the one that we had earlier. And you can see I've got these two risers, which was like life-changing when I added these. But and the thing I like about this is I have them panned opposite ways, so it gives this like escalating, like all around feeling. So I was really proud of that. I had fun putting that one in. So I think that's it, and I'm just gonna play it for you guys now. And really pay attention to what changes, what comes in, what comes out, you know. Oh. See the dynamic switch. And then here, everything's gonna cut out for like a second, not even a second. There's that deep kick. Listen for the risers. You can hear how big this chorus is. So that's that one. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. This one has a special place in my heart. I think it's so uplifting and fun, and I just want to like get up and jump and dance. And I really hope that I'm able to like put a good melody that doesn't distract, that just really flows with it. And the song's actually called Go Higher. Like I said, I've written this one too. But the vocals are, the first draft phase is done and more work to do. I'm very picky with my vocals. Recording vocals is my least favorite part right now. It's the hardest for me. I don't know why, but it is. But I will figure it out. I'm getting better at it. It will come. So yeah, let me know what you think of this one. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing more of what I'm working on, follow me on my other platforms. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you had fun. I hope you were bopping along with me. If any of those instrumentals really spoke to you and you want the song, let me know. If you have any notes, tips, suggestions, opinions, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys thought. And yeah, as always, I'll see you next time.